1, 2, 3.
Yes, it's the Late Late Breakfast Show with your host, Bernie J. Mitchell.
Are you in?
Are you in?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Actually, I'm here. I'm terribly nervous because I've got two of the UK's most renowned podcasters in, and I just got back from Vayner World as well. So if I start shouting crazily, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Mike.
That's the first time I've seen Bernie J. Mitchell speechless.
There we go.
Mike.
I'm so petrified. So Mike, what are you known for, and what would you like to be known for?
Wow. Well, adrenaline, I guess, getting people's adrenaline going. Finding that spark that gets people motivated to change their lives. That's part of what we're doing with our event in London in the summer. And also, I guess I'm an audio guy, so I'm hoping that this podcast is going to be top quality.
I've got to pick you up there, because is that what you'd like to be known for, or what are you known for now?
My legacy. What are you talking about now? The next 200 years, how I'm going to be rememred? That's deep.
I've noticed you've been going very deep on the New Media podcast. So
yes,
the goat sacrificing and the white noise. And you live in the same place as David Icke. So
I know, it's all a bit crazy, isn't it?
Do you bump into him?
No, I've never seen him, although I think we are almost neighbours.
Wow.
So what do I want to be remembered for? I guess just connecting people, bringing people together. That's why we're doing New Media Europe. It's just a kind of fantastic grouping of like minds, and I'm hoping it's going to grow.
I think it's great. I think it's I was an early adopter.
Yes.
When it was OK podcasters, and then it went to UK podcasters, and now it's New Media Europe.
Now it's picking up, and we're very proud to have Annie Alexander as a speaker.
Yes.
So I'd like to hear more about Annie.
What a seamless link there.
Oh yeah, good transition.
Yeah.
So
it's so slick. Instantly my podcast has got better. So what are you known for, Annie, and what would you like to be known for?
Okay, well, I'm a best-selling fiction author and I'm a podcaster. So my podcast is called Write to be Read. It's for writers. So I'm all about writing and self-publishing and book marketing. And of course, I would like to be known for writing a really mind-blowing book, which will be read years after.
Just the one, or would you?
Well, at least one, yeah.
What's how many are you up to on your podcast?
Well, I'm at episode 149.
149.
Yeah.
And the reason I got into contact with Annie is because and then she said, how did she get into here? Because Mark contacted us
online.
Mark contacted us on Facebook, and then you also interviewed James Altucher, who I love, but I could never say his name right. And then suddenly you were on New Media Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. I mean, people always ask me. I was living until a few weeks ago. I was living in Armenia, which is like a faraway country, which many people don't even know where it is.
Is that just under Argentina?
Almost. So when they say, where are you from? And I'm like, Armenia, especially if it's like a verbal thing. So you're not typing it like Armenia. And they're like, oh, Romania. And I'm like, no, Armenia. And, oh, Albania. No, Armenia. So, it's tough. So I was living far away.
Where is it? Just because I know there's at least 12 people listening to this. So where is Armenia? Just so we don't have to answer that question again.
Okay, Armenia is between Iran, Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. It sounds scary, but it's a really nice place. So, and we're one of the first. We are the first country which adopted Christianity as state religion. So we're sort of.
So it's a bit like Ireland and Italy.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, I live in Ilford, and people say it sounds scary, but it's a really nice place. So I'm really with you on that. So what's your where are you with your podcast? What's your actually even more interesting than that? What are you going to be talking about in New Media Europe?
Okay, in New Media Europe, I will be talking about the fact that books are the best business cards these days. So it's these days, book is not just a book. It does many different things to a person who wants to become successful and to be known. So that will be what we will be covering about, how to eventually publish a book, which is much easier than many people think these days, and how to use that as part of your business.
Mm-hmm. And what's I mean, I'm naively assuming you think that will be relevant to the new media audience because you've asked her to speak, Mike. But how does that plug into?
Into the whole picture.
Yes.
Well, it does. I think book publishing is great. And I was just talking to Annie before the podcast off the record about traditional book publishing. And so many people are doing that still. But now you can do so much online with your book. And I'm interested in hearing more about how that's all going to work. So, yeah, very excited.
The bit I can't let go by, the blog post that you brought to my attention about how to be an Amazon best-selling author and taking a picture of your foot. Can you tell that story? Because then I'll put a link in the show notes. But I totally agree with it.
Okay.
And it's going to be very uncomfortable for. I know 3 people that listen to this are going to go, I do that. I'm an Amazon best-selling author, but I'm not really.
Yeah, well, okay. So basically, just a few weeks ago, I came across a blog post which was about an experiment the guy did to try to prove everyone that the rank called Amazon best-selling author does not mean much. So what he did was he took a photo of his barefoot on a carpet. He prepared a really nice, just very simple cover out of it. He wrote in the description that this is a book which contains the photo of my foot inside, and he created a Kindle ebook and uploaded it on Amazon. So then he found a very, very tiny subcategory by just selling 3 copies you can become number 1 bestseller in that category. So he texted his friends, couple of them bought it, he bought a copy too, and immediately he received this official Amazon badge of that book being number 1 Amazon bestseller. So there are ways to become best-selling authors, different ways, and one way is this.
And do you know much about Amazon ranking and stuff like that?
I'm absolutely stunned to hear that story from Annie, and I think it just goes to show you how open the platform is. I don't know, did he get any traffic from that? Did any more people buy the book as a result?
Well, the post blew up, of course, the experiment. Everyone heard about that. Eventually, Amazon put that book out because they found out about that, because usually they can't really track so many books, so you end up with these kind of stories. And as far as I know, now a real publishing company offered the guy a deal to write a book about everything he thinks about this. So, yeah.
It's going to be called My Left Foot, but someone had already done that. John Bosco, who spoke in UK Podcasters, interviewed someone, and I shall track this podcast down. And it was all about this type of publishing stuff, and it really annoys me, and it's always annoys me as people go, I'm an Amazon best-selling author.
I see that in Twitter bios everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I don't say that. You see, I am, but I don't say that.
So there's a guy called Michael Heppel who has sold loads of books. And he came from nothing, poor guy from Newcastle, and he'd already done well on some of his books, and then he was on Chris Evans' show about 4 years ago, and there was a dramatic spike. So he is genuinely an Amazon best-selling author, that's when I started to, and I saw at the same time he did that. Some other friends of mine who. Nice people, but they haven't got an audience like that, and they haven't been on Chris Evans' radio show, or suddenly Amazon best-selling authors. So I got a bit suspicious about this. And then on John Bosco's podcast, I had a guy talking about it, and there's like 15,000, probably more now, 15,000 categories that you can be in, and then there's subcategories of those categories. So the chances of becoming an Amazon best-selling author are pretty...
Exactly. And then since Amazon is not tracking it well, you can basically choose any category that has bigger chances by selling 2 copies. And your book doesn't even have to be relevant to that category because no one checks that. So you can eventually write about completely different things and put it under a completely different category. So you can write about writing and have it under engineering or, nuclear science.
I'm going for that. Now, I know this sounds a bit negative, guys, but I want this. It sounds very angry and like I don't like it, but really, this is a lesson. And I don't want it. I'm telling it like this. So it's how you can get to the top of Amazon, but obviously I wouldn't endorse that type of thing. So it's kind of like it's a Trojan horse. So which leads me on to I'm sorry I didn't prepare you for this, but the whole. Co-working, entrepreneurial. Who's the chap who did
nomadic lifestyle?
Yeah, nomadic lifestyle. Because you moved to an island.
Yes,
to have a nomadic lifestyle, and then I want to find a seamless link between, roaming the world. And I've forgotten his name. Who's the guy that Isabella podcasted with a couple of weeks ago about entrepreneur versus freelancer thing?
That might be Paul Jarvis.
Paul Jarvis is
Yeah.
not the Paul. Did you do it then?
Yes.
He's my hero. No, the other one that does video stuff and he's speaking at New Media Europe.
Let me think. Steve Folland.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the chap.
Yes.
So that kind of area.
Yes. Well, that's definitely an interesting area. And like you say, Bernie, we did move to the Isle of Wight to have that kind of lifestyle. And I guess it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because we have entrepreneurial loneliness being stuck at home. I mean, it's just Isabella and I. So luckily we get on very well. Mm-hmm. But it's like coming to London today and coming
Do you think you get married and have kids and stuff?
I think we might, yeah. We certainly share lunch breaks. But yeah, coming to London and being in the co-working space today is amazing. It's amazing to see so many entrepreneurial people just gathering around tables. And it's so informal as well. It
is.
Yeah, it's something really cool. I wish we had something like that on the Isle of Wight.
I'm not wearing trousers. But how do you think the new media audience, New Media Europe audience is forming? Because it's on this journey of, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have told you this before we get stuck recording. Because there's a mix of, because it was like social media marketing. It was podcast as well. Then it was social media marketing world, and then now it seems to have turned into this sort your life out of your own accord and get on with it.
Yeah.
So just do it in community. It seems to be growing into.
Exactly, and just funnily enough, talking to Annie about that, the UK is a big shift from the US, where the US mentality is very much, let's go for it, we can do this, we're on our own, we're going to do it, it's entrepreneurism. Whereas, is that a word? I don't know if that's, maybe I made it.
It is now.
Entrepreneurism. Whereas in the UK, we're a little bit more humble and a little bit more laid back about it, but I can certainly see the startings of that, and hopefully, like you say, the New Media Europe crowd, or any crowd that is going to a conference similar to that, just at the start of your entrepreneurial journey, or, already you've got an online business or something like that, or you want to be a lifestyle entrepreneur and you want to level yourself up, it's that kind of thing. That's
what about that word entrepreneur? Because I'm asking you shamelessly because I've got to give a talk about freelancer versus entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hate people who are Amazon bestsellers. People are, that came from a rant I did a while ago about I'm a freelancer, not an entrepreneur.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't call myself a freelancer, and the reason why I wouldn't do that is because when I worked in radio, I was a freelancer.
Yeah.
So I think a freelancer is someone who provides a specific skill and will provide it to anyone who will take that skill.
Do you know what a freelancer is actually?
I'm sure you're going to tell me it's something totally different, or there's a really good dictionary definition.
It's a warrior without a king.
I love that. That sounds interesting. Yeah, so someone who's out battling their own battles, I guess. So yeah, so you're selling a certain skill, and anyone who will take it, you sell it to. Whereas an entrepreneur is more kind of go-get. Mm-hmm. It's more kind of like, I can see a business idea in anything, and I'm ready to sort of take that on. So yeah.
So you know why I'm a freelancer and not an entrepreneur? Because I saw a business idea in loads of things. I took that on and it just didn't fucking work.
Are you allowed to swear in this? Is this explicit? Or
it is.
You
it is now. Yeah. I have to go back and change it because so many things. I can see him holding back. What do you think about the freelancer entrepreneurial battle there?
Well, I think it's just. I guess freelancers stay being freelancers because of this stability in between full-time job and entrepreneurship. So most of entrepreneurs in their very early stages are also freelancers, most probably because they haven't really, pulled this off, and they don't really have this stable income that will be a full-time thing. So I guess freelancers may be considered like this transitional stage between corporate workers and entrepreneurs.
And what would you describe yourself as now? Because you've
Well, I'm both actually, because of this financial stability, I'm doing several freelance gigs right now, but at the same time, I'm pulling together and trying to make my own stuff work. So I guess I have these two hats on at this minute, but of course, eventually, I would like to shift into entrepreneurship full time.
What am I if I do like have an online business? So that's an interest, because I'm hoovering up all the Rainmaker Academy stuff, and they always say digital entrepreneur, and as much as I love them, I'm like, oh god, But if all I do is have an Udemy course, what am I? Not that I'm looking to be labelled here, but
you're entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So you've put something out there that you hope to make money. Because what is the actual definition of an entrepreneur? Is it not someone who
I've got another one.
Buys something for money, and then there's the reverse of that?
It's French for can't get a job.
So yeah, I like what you're saying about because really it is any idea that you have, particularly digital entrepreneurship, is an idea you have to make money, and you put it out there online. You actually take action, you do it, and then you start making money online. So I guess that's kind of what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I've confused myself now because you could have, because there's people I know of, and maybe we know people like this, who turn over a comfortable £10,000 a month on Udemy, and that's better than the national wage. But are they an entrepreneur? Are they a highly paid? Are they an author? Because
That's a good question. Maybe they don't class themselves as an entrepreneur, but definitely, I mean, if you're on a platform like Udemy, you already have that digital knowledge, don't you? So you know what you're doing. It's not like you would have fallen into making that amount of money by accident, I guess. So,
contrary to what you read in the mainstream media. So my last thing is, what are you guys hoping from New Media Europe? Have you, as you see the community forming and the arguments in the Facebook group? I'm only saying that to make it sound provocative.
It's very controversial. Yes.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about that? Actually, I think that was a
spam. What do we think about spam?
I've missed that. Wow.
the line. Actually, I want to say that altercation in the New Media Europe Facebook group, which actually turned it into a community. Is my proposition.
I wouldn't call it an altercation. I'd say it was a debate, a friendly debate. But then maybe I'm being diplomatic.
About the self-promotion?
About self-promotion. So, and everyone had a different opinion, which was, as a community manager, that is the hardest line to tread to do what most people want. And we discovered that most people didn't want to see promotional things, but an equal sort of percentage of people wanted to be able to promote when they had something to promote. So it's kind of treading that line of, if you self-promote, then people aren't going to want to see it. But also there is an argument that actually everyone in the community should see and should know what everyone's up to. It's just, I guess, funneling it into the right area rather than having it going on all the time. Just make it like you use the bar example, don't you? You walk into a bar, if someone keeps coming up to you and saying, hey, check out my course, hey, check out my book and stuff like that bar, you kind of probably wouldn't go back, would you?
No.
Whereas if you go to the bar and every night it's a nice friendly conversation, but one night it's like everyone has a table and they're showing you what they've got, then maybe that's okay and you get to know the people.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, self-promotion is something really sort of, annoying these days because everyone is doing it. So if you end up doing it the way usually people do it, it's very annoying. Usually what they do is they just, get into a group, they don't get engaged, no one knows them, they are not part of the group, but they are using the group as a platform to promote their stuff, which is like the wrong way. But, if you have been providing value, and if you have been in touch with people and you have been part of the group, and in a mild way, if there is a specific place where you can put out what you've done and what you want people to see, then I think that's like the more graceful and nice thing. Although I always prefer that someone else does that for you, like someone else talks about what you've done, because first of all it's more credible and it puts you in a much better position rather than you talking about yourself. But I guess this structure that we came up with is a nice one. What we do in Pat Flynn's group, which I'm administering, and it's over 14,000 people in there right now. What we do is we have certain rules, and we say that if you are sharing anything that belongs to you and you're promoting something, you should definitely put at least a tip or something, a knowledge-based thing that we are going to get out of it. Not specifically about what you share about, but in general, like what you have learned during your journey while publishing a book. So at least we get a value before getting
Is that
promotion.
Pat's first book?
Yes,
that
first Kindle book.
I used to run quite a big LinkedIn group, and it was like 2,000 people, of which about 12 took part properly, and the 12 that took part properly would just post every day, like, I've got a great tip here, and they do like wanky little things like and read the rest here.
Okay. Yeah.
And it used to infuriate me, and I used to call them up and say, can you stop doing this? And they were like, quite a lot of them actually were like, I didn't realise. They genuinely didn't realise. They thought that's how you acted in a group, and there were some people who were like, well, you got to do it, mate. You know, like I haven't got time to comment individually because I post to 50 groups at the same time. Well, that's where you're missing the point, isn't it?
I think people that do self-promote that way will always lose in the end because people just ignore their messages. They'll just go blind to them, you know.
What some also do is, you know, when they're doing it in a group, at least you know and you expect that, but some are going to profiles and actually commenting with their spammy links to something, which is really annoying. It's like, you know, they're coming to your house as guests and then, you know, behaving appropriately. And it's really very messy.
I think where we ended up though was really good because that I wouldn't have suggested that to begin with because I would have just been, you know, quite no promotional posts.
Yeah.
Okay. But I learned something from this because now on the Friday, I actually look forward to it.
Yes.
And that's only been 3 weeks now. And I think it's really important. And I, you know, go and do this too, is to go and look through other people's stuff. And
like it, comment back.
Yeah.
So
I've gone down everything. And I'm very much I like to know, you know, like 50 people really well from New Media Europe and WeShare and stuff like that and here. And they're all kind of, as a subgroup of that, they're all crossed over. So I don't want to be best mates with, you know, 500,000 people. And it's probably not much of the world that wants to be best mates with me. But I get to, you know, I know a few people really, really well. And because everything's in there for, one of the, like Facebook is such a huge distraction. If you know everything's going to happen on Friday. Yeah. Off you go.
You're ready for it, yeah. And I think it's different because the two groups that I administer, New Media Europe and UK Podcasters. UK Podcasters it's a closed group, but it's open to anyone to join in to have a look. And New Media Europe is just the attendees, the speakers and the sponsors. So it's a kind of quality set of people there that you need to manage very carefully. Whereas with, I don't know whether, Annie, maybe you have an opinion on managing a group that is a specific set of people that you kind of almost know, and then a more open group, and whether you'd have a different approach to that. I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Usually with closer and smaller groups, it's easier because you tend to know the people and you may be more open in your opinions, in what you post, and because you know how they will perceive the things because you know the people. In bigger groups, like, you know, for example, Pat Flynn's group is 14,000 people. You don't know most of them and you have no clue who they are. You end up being very cautious about what you post and what you do because very often, you know, in comments, you may end up losing control and getting really kind of, you know, people getting personal, people getting annoyed, and then from one small thing, a really huge thing may start coming out and things like that. So I guess, you know, when you have this closed, cozy and predictable group, you behave freer and, you know, you end up with better content in a sense because you don't restrict yourself so much.
One of my final thing is at Vayner World last night, some people just can't help themselves, and there was one person I should say, now I've said lady, I've done it already, stood up and had been rehearsing her question, and then in the middle of the whole thing, and the tone of like Vayner World and what it's all about, says and by the way, if anybody wants, you know, it's like you standing up in front of you know, like 500 people and the security and everything else there last night and say, oh, you know, Gary, here's my question. I'll go, by the way, everybody, my name's Mike Russell, and if you like audio, you know, jingles, give me a shout at Music Radio Creative, and there was I was tempted to.
That's awful, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly.
Terrible marketing.
I was tempted to jump on. I probably would have done this a few years ago, but I'm, you know, so much more grown up now. Just to have a little, you know, little.
Let's have a little talk though about what Annie was saying about leaving a tip. I like what you said about the Pat Flynn group, where if you are going to promote yourself, leave a tip. And I quite like the idea of adding value. Yeah. And people then appreciating you and maybe coming to check you out as a result of the value you're adding, rather than directly marketing yourself. What would you guys say?
So basically what we do is, let's say someone has a new book out, and, you know, usually what the tip would be like, you know, something that helped him most during the process of the publishing or writing or whatever happened to that book specifically. So you have a backup story. It's personal, it's real, and it's something that worked for the person, and then you see the results. So it's very kind of, you know, it ties together and it looks good, and many people sort of, you know, may go ahead and and try the same thing, and it may work for them too.
Because when you learn from people, this is someone I adore is Marcus Sheridan. He's always talking, and it's been very. Maybe this is a good example of that, because he's always telling us some kind of story. I mean, the Liverpool story about how you can go and do this, and I've used that in loads of workshops, because he's actually made a big stack of cash and has his business has consistently built over the years, which is a swimming pool business. That's not Mike Russell. That's the
That was a good time for that.
that's the underground. But also he's his whole thing about is educating people about plastic swimming pools. Yeah. So it's shareable stuff. And there was he used to know when to ask people to buy something because they'd read 30 pages of content. Yes. And as the web has changed, people read like 300 pages. They make a purchase after reading 300 pages. They download less ebooks, but they read more stuff online because of the way
That's amazing. I wish I was more into online metrics and even more geeky and analytical. I read somewhere that Twitter know if you follow at least 30 people on Twitter, 30 minimum, you're going to be on there for the rest of your life, pretty much. That's what they worked out. So, yeah.
So, a little. If you want to do it, guys, a little some kind of geeky masterclass on Google Analytics for Annie, Mike, and Bernie would be very, very welcome. So we're nearly at the end of our time now. Hang on. Not quite, but there we go.
Not quite. Let's keep going.
So, where can we find you online? What drink do you want at New Media Europe? And all those questions. What's the best thing?
Question. What drink do you want? So, I'm currently drinking green tea. So, if it's during the day, I would love a green tea. During the night, again, I'm going to stick to the same thing, Jack and Coke. Although I think I'll just go for Jack on the rocks because I'm trying to cut back on all that sugary
I quit great website. I quit sugar.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, actually, I did see you were on a sugar quitting journey recently.
Year of bulletproof.
A while ago.
Year of bulletproof coffee, and I have a cheeky chocolate every now and then, but like processed food and stuff like that. And I'm, my head's better. My stomach is it's okay. But I've got more energy. And that's a James Altucher thing got me into all that.
Oh yeah.
What would you?
Well, I'm a beer person, so I drink beer usually in the evenings, especially when I'm writing, creative stuff. So yeah,
like a sort of,
from the bottle, straight from the bottle.
Like an F. Scott Fitzgerald type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I drink. And
is it any beer? Because you come across a little bit more. If I gave you a can of Stella, it probably wouldn't go down well. I feel it has to be some.
Super?
I feel it has to be some sophisticated.
No, nothing sophisticated. Just a good quality beer.
Do you like American football as well?
No, I don't. But my family is all about soccer, so I'm kind of I'm used to this thing going on the background all the time. So
lovely. Right, it's definitely time to go and get some lunch here. Thank you very much for diving in there. Sorry you weren't more prepared.
Thank you.
You're both so professional. I felt it would work. So round of applause for us.
Please go to berniejmitchell.com/podcast. Bernie would love your feedback and input.